Hey, so I'm making another Soli tracker tutorial. I wasn't satisfied with the other one, and there's been tons of updates since then, so I just wanted to make an updated one. So this is just a random seed that I used to practice on. So we're gonna use this one to display everything. I want to start off with all the buttons down here. So this button right here is to pause the in tracker timer. So the tracker has its own timer. You just start it by refreshing the page. The tracker is a lot to handle if you really just want to stay in logic. You just put hide inaccessible, and it's usually what's in logic or what you can't reach, so you're not like overwhelmed with checks sometimes. I don't ever really use it, but I think it's pretty helpful. Co-op mode is currently being worked on. You're going to be able to use this during the co-op tournament, and from my understanding, two people will be able to control the tracker at once. There's Unleash Animals, which helps you with your Way of the Heroes. Basically, it color codes Way of the Hero checks and where potential items could be that your Way of the Heroes are leading towards. There's Tagidia, Appease Soli, and Correct Theme. It just changes how everything looks. Yeah, see, I don't know, this is Soli's or whatever. Anyways, they're all kind of ugly. I just kind of stay with Correct Theme. There's Download Route. Basically, on this one, you can download the route you took. It'll check which checks you did in which order, and it'll route it out for you, and you can compare with your friends to see where your route differences were, if you both download the route and use the tracker. It has a built-in sim, so you can play the sim whenever you want. Location codes, we'll get to that in a bit. It's basically a code for all your sometimes hints. And credits, we want to thank Soli for making this, B Luigi for being a logic king, Cola for playing 3 seeds a day, Tagnia, the little tag for Tagnia, because this theme has 0 users, and we want to thank Juke for this theme here. So anyways, on to the actual stuff here for the tracker. Basically, the way you use it is you just input the first 3 letters of a check that you get, and it'll pop up for you. So let's put BOO for boomerang. So BOO gives you boomerang, and you see it pop up here on the left, and it even tells you where you got it. Now it'll do that for every item, and it's important. Well, it's not necessarily important, but it's good to put where you get every bow, even if you already got your first bow, just in case you're out of logic and you can see where your first logical one is, and just stuff like that if you care about things. So the next one is songs. You can just put the first 3 letters of a song. So for lullaby, you just put LUL. Song of Time, SOT. But if it's something like Bolero, you put BOL. But Song of Storms is like SOS. Just whatever the normal acronyms are is usually what it's gonna be up there. But so you want to put, yeah, so ZEL doesn't work, but LUL works for lullaby. Now that's how you input your items and your songs. For items, if it's progressive like hook shots, you can put HOO for your first hook shot, and for the second you don't have to put LON for long shot. You just put HOO again, and it tracks your long shot here. Same for strengths. You just put STR for every single strength. You don't need to mark your ocarina. It already thinks you have the ocarina. If you want to do bomb shoes in logic, you can click on the little bomb shoe. So let's see here. The next thing is your medallions and stones. So we're gonna check our stones here. It is Deku, Water, Shadow. So what you want to do is you put the first 2 letters of every dungeon on here, So stones is gonna be on the left, medallions is gonna be on the right. So we got Deku Water Shadow. So we put DEWASH, and it puts all your stones down here. What I like to do is I like to check it just really fast, like Deku Water Shadow, and then I just run to the pedestal. And on my way there, what I do is I come up with like a little word like so DEWASH. Those are the 6 letters I need to put in. So I do that wash, and I just repeat that in my head on my way to this little, like on my way to the pedestal. I just backwalk repeating that, and then as soon as I press A to lift the sword, I input the 6 letters. And so for medallions, it's about the same. For medallions, we're just gonna say the first 3 are vanilla. So we put forest, fire, water. Water's already taken by a stone actually, so we'll do forest, fire, the dongos, right? So it goes FOFIDO, and there you go. If you care about the light, shadow, and spirit medallion, you can just click on them to change which ones they are. It kind of matters for a check, which is the cutscene, light arrow cutscene. That's what it's called. But that check usually never has anything, but sometimes it can. So if you want to go ahead and make sure those are always correct, you can. So next, so we covered songs, items, dungeons. You'll see here that next to the dungeons, it'll tell you what items you still need for those. So you see I have a hook shot, I have a long shot. It tells you what the bare minimums are. So like you don't necessarily need irons for water, but it'll keep the out of logic water checks out of logic even if you have the scales. So let's just say we got 2 scales in Deku there. They won't be in logic because they won't be green, they'll be yellow. That means it's out of logic, but it's accessible. But it'll mark it right here, and it'll basically tell you, oh, you can do water, but this isn't necessarily meaning that it's in logic. Like for example, Deku doesn't have any item requirements, but technically you need a slingshot to finish it. So moving on, we have our Baron and Way the Hero hints here. Let's say we got Death Mountain Trail, Baron, we put DMT, and it'll delete all of the DMT hints. You see they just disappeared right here. We can do that again by, let's do Lost Woods. You see all my Lost Woods checks are right here. Ocarina minigame, generic grotto, scrub hole, business scrub, target in the woods, Saria's kid, or Skull Kid, whatever, Skull Mask. So we put LW for Lost Woods, and they'll completely disappear in just a second. There you go, they all left. So you don't even have to worry about checking those off, or even remembering that it's Baron, because you'll never see those checks on your screen. So for Way of the Heroes, let's turn on Unleash Animals so you can actually see Way of the Heroes work with the Unleash the Animals. So let's put bombs in CAC, and now let's put that CAC is Way of the Hero. Every bomb log check now turns blue, which is the color code for CAC. And so now something really interesting is if let's see, if we put a hammer also, let's put a hammer in Deku Tree. So what that does is now checks that hammer could unlock, that bombs could also unlock, turn green. That way, the Way the Heroes are still only blue. Hammer could do map and compass in the dongos, so those turn green instead of being Way the Hero Kakariko blue. And so that's really helpful. And for every Way the Hero, you'll get a new line right here. It says Kakariko, and it'll list every item that you got in a Way the Hero location, and also what those items led to. For example, if a bomb has my bow right here, wow, it actually didn't pop up. However, it'll usually pop up towards the end of the game. It'll tell you everything that everything was led to. And so you can put DMC, Temple of Time. You can put Lake Hylia. You can put, I don't know, Hyrule Field. And they'll all pop up here. They'll all have their items underneath it. And a really interesting thing is every item that you're missing will be down here. And now it's every hard required item. So like sometimes strengths won't be here, magic won't be here. But every item that you're missing is usually going to be right here. But I have noticed that strengths are never there and magic is never there. But it will tell you, hey, you're missing these. So it tells you which always hints you haven't received. So you haven't received your 30, 40, 50, Ocarina of Time, and Frogs 2 hints. So so whenever you find those hints, so let's say we got I don't know, Nocturne on OOT, it'll take it away from here, and then you know, oh, I'm only missing these always hints. So let's say 30 has a bomb bag. Actually, no, let's say 30 has hovers. So you put HOV, and let's say you get nothing for 40, 50, and nothing for Frogs 2, which is in the river. So then it says none are unread, so you're fine there. For sometimes hints, what you can do is you can just click off the item. So let's say it says you get the hammer rock hint, and it's dead. You can just click it if you want. Or something you can do is like, let me think about sometimes hint here. Here, we can just check here. So this locations code actually has the codes for every sometimes hint or just something that you need to remember. So let's say ATZ Grotto has iron boots, right? So you write down ATZ and then IRO, which is code for iron boots. And it'll list it right here so you don't forget it. Of course, you can just put it in ATZ Grotto on your own. The check is usually right here in the field section, but we just input something for the check, so it's not here. However, if you put it here and you forget, you can always check on the right section here that lists all your items and their locations. So let's try another. Let's put, let's say Rudo's is on the Rudo's check. So you put RUT for Rudo's, and so the location always comes first. The location is on the left. RUT is the Rudo's location. RU2 is the letter, and so there you remember the letter is right there. So your skulls in logic will always be at the top, and then, oh my bad, I did not mean to do that. And so the remaining checks in the game are going to be right here. In logic checks will be right here. If you need to force anything into logic, you can just write whatever you need to force into logic. We can force a magic into logic if we want. And it's right there. So if you got like an out of logic magic, but you want to see what's still left in logic for stuff that needs the magic, you can just put that there. So let's say there's 50 skull magic, but you got magic on the fire check in the graveyard. So you know that one's locked by magic, but you got it out of logic, but you want to see what's still in logic after that, because if not, all your checks are going to be black. You can just input that and you can see what's in logic after that, so you can act like you got it but you didn't really get it. If an item is hinted, and so let's say we got our 20 skulls, and you don't want it to be Way the Hero because it's hinted, so that means it can't be Way the Hero. So you want to put a capital letter and then the rest of the letters in lowercase. So capital MIR for Mirror Shield, and you see how it doesn't pop up on my CAC Way the Hero because it can't be Way the Hero because it was hinted. So you just put a capital letter for any hinted check if you want to write it out, and it won't mess with your Way the Heroes here. And I think that's about it. But you need to do that for 30, 40, 50. For any hinted, even if it's always, you just need to put the capital letter. The tracker won't do that on its own. So that'll exclude the Way the Heroes. Like I said, you can study the location codes here. So like it has the OT song Frogs, Bigger on Skull Mask. It has every sometimes hint or every forgettable check, and you can just write it in your little notepad. You can write whatever you want in the notepad as well, just to have notes. Um, Another really interesting thing that you can do is you can get a program such as what I have is TurboTop, and it'll keep whatever program you want at the very top of your screen. Such as if you use LiveSplit is always at the top. So you can play with one monitor if you'd like. You can just drag your program into this little corner here, and you can play on one screen. This usually takes up two screens. That's how I use it. I have my left monitor as it has Lenzo tracker here, and it has Soli's tracker here, and then on my right monitor I have a windowed RetroArch, and on the left I have a pop-out activity feed from Twitch and a pop-out chat from Twitch. That way I can check chat, my activity feed, and my game all on one monitor. And then if I need to track anything, I have Soli tracker and Lenzo tracker on the left. That is basically it. If you need any help, there is a help button here called Help. It was updated recently, a couple of months ago, but that's basically it. If you have any questions or anything, please let us know. There's tons of like hidden stuff that I still don't know about that he just adds and just doesn't tell me. Such as you don't necessarily need to check your stones. You can just put in all of your medallions. So let's say all of our medallions are vanilla. You put FO for forest, fire, water, shadow, spirit, and then free FR, and it'll just do that on its own. See, he doesn't tell me stuff like this. I had to figure it out on my own. But you don't even need to check your stones. You can just check every medallion, and it'll input it into the order. So if you don't want to have to like guess your which medallion is spirit and shadow because you skim through them really fast, only checking the first three medallions, you can just do this instead. There's tons of just small stuff like that that is hidden throughout this tracker. It has tons of cool little stuff like that. But that's about it. If you have, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me or Soli. We're more than happy to help. Once again, thank you, Soli, Cola, B. Luigi, Tagnia, and Juke. And I hope you guys all enjoy. Once again, the link for this is soilflux, not Soli, soilflux.github.io/tracker/. You guys all have a good day.